The Rift. Chapter 2, Be a Hero by Roll Studio. I realized that this was no game, no restart button, no respawn. This was a nightmare come to life, a horror story unfolding in real time, and I was trapped right in the middle of it. The monsters, the chaos, the burning buildings, everything felt like a twisted version of the virtual worlds I had once played for fun. Only this time there were no second chances, no comforting disconnect to the real world. I could feel the heat of the flames on my skin, smell the acrid smoke in the air, hear the distant screams echoing down the streets. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest, faster and faster as panic tried to take hold. I wanted to think it through, to figure out what was going on, but I didn't have time to process any of it. My mind raced, flipping between fear and the urgent need to survive. I needed to move, to get out of the open, to find shelter, anywhere that wasn't exposed, anywhere that didn't feel like I could be snatched away by whatever came next. My eyes darted around, scanning the street for a safe place, a haven in the chaos, but all I saw were more shadows, more threats. I sprinted towards the nearest alleyway, my heart pounding in my chest. I ducked behind some dumpsters, hoping to stay hidden. My breaths were short, my hands shaking as I peeked out to see if I was safe. My breaths came fast and shallow, each one a gulp of smoky, heated air. The world around me felt distorted, surreal, like a scene ripped from my darkest dreams, where reality and fantasy had twisted together into something terrifyingly real. I needed to get a grip. I needed to calm down and think. But the only thing that kept hammering in my head was that I needed to hide, to get out of sight. I ducked behind a pair of dumpsters, pressing myself against the cold, grimy metal, hoping to remain unnoticed. My hands were trembling, my body tense, adrenaline coursing through every vein. I tried to control my breathing, slow it down, but every little sound made me jump. The distant crackle of flames, the faint rustle of something moving in the shadows. It was like the entire city had transformed into a giant hunting ground, and I was the prey. Peering around the corner, my heart nearly stopped as I spotted a creature, a wolf-like beast, its eyes glowing red with hunger. It was sniffing the air, prowling through the street, its ears twitching at every noise. It seemed to be searching, hunting. I froze, hoping it wouldn't notice me, and that's when I saw her. A girl, her back was against the wall, and fear had frozen her in place. The creature's eyes locked onto her, and it started to stalk closer, growling low in its throat. She was trapped, helpless. And that's when something snapped inside me. This wasn't just about me anymore. I couldn't just sit there and watch. Without another thought, I pushed myself up and bolted towards her, my feet moving on their own, driven by a surge of desperation. I grabbed her arm and yanked her away just as the creature lunged. Its jaws snapped shut inches from where we had been, and it let out a frustrated snarl. I moved closer, my heart pounding. I could make out the outline of a girl, her face pale and streaked with dirt, her eyes wide with terror. The creature's eyes narrowing, its muscles rippling under its dark, matted fur as it readies to pounce. My breath becomes audible, quickening with anxiety. I looked up, my blood turning to ice. Standing on top of the rubble, its eyes glowing with a malevolent light, was a creature unlike anything I had ever seen. Its mouth was a gaping maw filled with rows of needle-like teeth. The creature grinned, a horrifying, predatory expression. It knew we were trapped. Fear threatened to paralyze me, but I couldn't let it win. The girl, her eyes wide with terror, was counting on me. It was sizing me up, waiting for the right moment. I felt a chill run down my spine, like ice water dripping between my shoulder blades. My mind screamed at me to run, or to just get the hell out of there. but I knew I wouldn't make it far. I had seconds, maybe less. I needed to fight. But how? I had to do something, but what? As if in answer, the golden light beneath the rubble pulsed again, stronger this time, fear. It clawed at me, tried to freeze me in place, but I pushed it down, shoved it aside. I felt something strange, a tingling in my fingertips, a warmth that spread up my arms. It was like my body knew what to do, even if I didn't. It flowed over me, warm and tingling. My hand, my fingers twitch involuntarily. Tiny sparks of light beginning to gather at my fingertips. I stares at my hand, eyes wide, confusion mixed with determination. The creature lunged, its claws slashing through the air. Then it happened. A surge of energy, raw and powerful, coursed through my veins. I felt different, stronger. I raises my hand. Flames suddenly burst forth from my palm, creating a blazing wall of fire between me and the creature. The light from the fire casts eerie shadows across the alley. The creature flinches, its red eyes widening in shock. The creature hesitates, stepping back, snarling with frustration as it paces back and forth, looking for a way around the flames. I don't know how I did it, how I'd pulled fire from nothing, but there was no time to question it, only time to act. Sweat on my brow, my face illuminated by the firelight. I takes a deep breath, my expression shifting from fear to focus. I raises my other hand, feeling the heat intensify. The creature circled me like a predator, looking for a weakness, a way in. I couldn't let it find one. I had to end this, here and now. My face, eyes narrowing in concentration. Flames begin to swirl around my outstretched hand, growing hotter and brighter. Over the shoulder shot from behind me, focusing on the creature. It crouches, muscles tensed, ready to leap through the flames. The tension builds. I felt the power building, felt it coursing through me like electricity. It was wild, untamed, but it was mine, and I was going to use it. I thrusts my hand forward. A wave of fire surges out, a roaring inferno that shoots across the alley like a missile. The air ripples with heat. The creature tries to leap away, but it's too late. The fire engulfs it, licking at its fur, searing its flesh. The creature, as it howls in pain, staggering back, its body twisting and writhing in agony. Flames consume it, turning its fur to ash and skin to char. I watched it burn, watched it turn to ashes right before my eyes. The smell of burning fur and flesh filled the air with it. And I knew I'd done it. I'd survived. I am standing amidst the dying flames, breathing heavily, my eyes locked on the fading embers where the creature once stood. My hands are still crackling with residual energy, glowing faintly in the dark. And then, like a game notification, something flashed in front of my eyes. Level up. I couldn't believe it. I'd just leveled up, like I was still in a game. But this was real life. A faint holographic interface appears in front of me, showing I level up status, new abilities unlocked and skills gained, fire magic, an affinity with all elements, and even sword skills. Was this really happening? Had I actually become my game character? I scrambled to my feet and rushed to the girl's side. The fallen beam had shifted slightly in the blast, creating enough space for her to wriggle free. "Are you okay?" I asked, my voice shaky. She nodded, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and awe. "What was that?" she whispered. I don't know," I admitted, but deep down, a part of me did know. Something had changed within me. I had discovered a power I never knew I possessed. We made our way out of the rubble and into the strange, distorted world beyond. The air was still thick with an unsettling energy, but the creature was gone. For now. As we huddled together in the darkness, the events of the day replaying in my mind, I knew one thing for sure. My life would never be the same. I had stumbled into a world of terror and wonder, a world where creatures of nightmare roamed free, and I, an ordinary kid, possessed extraordinary abilities. The weight of this knowledge settled heavily on my shoulders, but so did a newfound determination. I had faced a terrifying creature and emerged victorious. I had saved a life. I was no longer just an ordinary kid. I was a hero, but this was just the beginning. I could sense it in my bones, feel it in the very air I breathed. The danger was far from over. The adventure was just beginning. This wasn't a game anymore. This was my reality. I wasn't just a player. I was a warrior, a mage, a hero. And I wasn't going down without a fight. I wasn't alone in this nightmare. There were others out there, others who needed help, and I had the power to make a difference. Stay tuned for Chapter 3, The Awakening. The real battle is just beginning.